Hi, thank you again for listening to my video. I don't really have any updates. It's been 6 weeks, a little bit over 6 weeks since I've really heard anything from my narcissistic ex-husband. And at this point, it's such a crazy game. I mean, it is so ridiculous when somebody is absent for that long. And I am really thinking, I am at the point today that I think that I am really starting to doubt myself. And I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm getting educated, I'm reading several articles every day, I'm talking to people, and I'm trying to figure out, maybe it is me, maybe I am the narcissist, maybe I'm trying to hoover him back, and maybe I'm trying to get a reaction. And there's just all these questions and doubtfulness. And I've actually even posted a question to one of the support groups to ask them what people thought. You know, is this confusion normal? I mean, it's not normal to be so anxious about another person's behavior. I mean, we've been divorced for almost 3 years. I think maybe, yeah, almost 3 years. We've been separated even longer than that. And I pretty much have been the only support person for our children. I've raised them in the last couple of years, or even before when he was absent. It was always me, and in all aspects, financial, providing a safe and stable place to live, paying for the bills, you know, making sure the field trips are paid for, making sure somebody's there when there's an injury. I mean, I can just list so many things that have happened just with the children since even we were separated. I mean, times when the kids have come home from school tired because they've walked all the way home from school, and it's not that long. I mean, it's like a mile maybe. I mean, it's not that terribly long, but it's, you know, it's longer than you want somebody in, at least it's longer than I wanted my kids to walk in the heat of the summer, and also without telling them. I mean, they know obviously where my house is located as opposed to where the school is, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I mean, I'm just looking back at some of these really bad things that have happened, where he said he would pick him up and then just passed out, you know, claiming he was on medication, where, I mean, this is just children related stuff. This is not even any crimes against me personally, but where the school, where he wasn't they were not picked up at the school, and the school had to call my neighbors to see whether I'm home, to see if I can pick up the kids, because he didn't pick up the kids. This is when they were little. And just, you know, I'm sitting here in this, and I don't know if you experience this, and you probably do. And by the way, I'm actually, I'm not making this channel to teach you anything. I'm very much learning about this condition, and I'm very much trying to understand anything and everything I can about narcissism and what it is, but I'm just sharing my experience. So I'm sitting here. It's been 6 weeks. It's been very peaceful 6 weeks, actually kind of boring because I'm used to drama and upheaval and problems. So it's been very, very peaceful, and it's been very, very nice actually. But at this point, you know, it would be nice if he could at least call his children and talk to them, but he doesn't call them. And it doesn't have to go through my phone. He has their phone numbers. They've not changed in years. They have their own phones. They're constantly on their phones because they're always playing some video game or watching YouTube videos. So it's not like you can't get a hold of him without me being there. And I would never make him hang up or anything like that, but he just doesn't do it. So I put the question out there to the forums today and asked people, what do you guys think? I mean, am I really the narcissist? Am I the nagging ex-wife? Am I the mother of the children that just can't keep her mouth shut about... I mean, I just want some sort of validation for the kids if it's not for me, an acknowledgement that they actually exist. So I put the question out there, and the answer that I got, and I'm just going to paraphrase it because I just read it, but it basically said that, well, he doesn't miss the kids, not like a normal father would. A normal father would keep contact with kids irrelevant of what the situation was with the mom, and I always encourage him to do that. Now, there's a lot of instances where he's asked to see them or for me to bring him somewhere, and I said no, because a lot of circumstances aren't correct. You know, I mean, he's an alcoholic, active alcoholic. I never know what kind of prescription drugs he's been prescribed or taking at the moment. I've tried, and I can't tell whether or not he's been drinking, simply by his behavior. He's a very good actor. Sometimes I can smell it, but, you know, I mean, I can't rely on that. So the point is, he can't drive the kids anywhere, not without my supervision, and I've let him drive before when I kind of reasonably could think that he would be okay, but I mean, when he's outbursts and has anger outbursts and just acting irrational, I won't let him drive with the kids. And it's like this balancing game. It feels like I'm like in the middle somewhere. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I put the question out to the forums, and the response was that he doesn't really love his kids. He doesn't have the capacity to love, and doesn't have the capacity to miss them. And it's not me, it's not something that I've done, and maybe this will help you too. It's not something I've done, not something the kids have done. He's just not interested at the moment. It's like a 3-year-old child, and you dangle something shiny in front of them, and they're like, "Ooh, you know, I'm gonna go to that now. You know, I'm done with playing with this because I want to go to that." And so, so we're in this game again, with 6 weeks waiting game. This coming weekend is not his visitation time. I don't anticipate to hear anything from him. The following week is going to be approximately 2 months at that time, and it is his visitation time. However, there's a lot of stuff going on in town, and oh, mind you, he lives like 3 hours away, but his girlfriend lives only 10 minutes down the street, so he drives by here quite frequently. I mean, at least every weekend, several times sometimes probably, but at least twice every weekend. It would be so easy for him to stop by and say hi to the kids, or, you know, at least call them. Anyway, I haven't driven the kids anywhere. I haven't driven the kids to her house. She's an alcoholic also. And this is by what he told me, but I actually observed this. I actually observed her intoxicated. Most of the times that I've met her, she was drunk, or she was very emotionally unstable. She's been arrested before. I just didn't think that it was a safe environment for me to bring the kids there. I think one time we've met at a public area, and she just called him constantly, until I finally said, well, just pick it up already, so she stops calling, because we were out on a field, we were launching rockets with the kids, and I could hear her talk. I don't know if he was a speaker, but it was loud enough for me to hear. But basically she said, "Oh, is she there too? Are you guys together? And I hope she didn't do anything with you." And I'm like, and then she said, "I'm watching you." And I'm like, and he started looking around too, and I'm like, is she stalking us? I mean, we're here in the middle of the field, there's nobody here, we're trying to launch rockets with the kids, this is supposed to be parent time, and she's stalking us? I mean, she has nothing to do with my kids or the family. So in any case, in my situation, I decided I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to bring the kids to any kind of public location. Visitation times will be here at my house with me being present until I figure out some other place where we can go, where I can assure that she's not going to be there. So not going to be any predetermined places that I'm going to go that she already knows about and she can like stalk me at. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is just really ridiculous. Anyways, what I wanted to do with this video, just to briefly tell you where I stand today. I always have this air of togetherness. Like I have my shit together, but a lot of times I don't have my shit together. And I do have to go pick up the kids from school, so I only have a few minutes to film. But I just wanted to share with you, and maybe you can emphasize or at least see something similar in your behavior or your feelings, is this act of confusion, this dichotomy of, okay, logically, this is big bullshit, all these things that he's done, that he's doing to us, the silent treatment, forgetting to pick up the kids at school, trying to triangulate me with her, ignoring the kids. They've actually called him and he doesn't pick up, and he doesn't call back either. He doesn't show up for visitations. I mean, this was already when we were still together. He would completely forget birthdays, holidays. I mean, I can understand somebody forgetting a date, and I know he's forgotten our anniversary before and stuff, but I mean, a holiday like Christmas, which is a children's holiday, is advertised starting in October. I mean, you cannot possibly not remember when Christmas is and what Christmas means. I mean, at some point in those 3 months prior to Christmas, you're going to think of Christmas, and that maybe you should think about maybe getting a present for your child, or even maybe think about arranging for a visit with your child or something. You know, nothing. Last year, Christmas, he didn't show up, didn't call, didn't pick up the phone when I called. His girlfriend actually did pick up, and she said she didn't know where he was. Kids, of course, you know, I pulled my face together and made sure they had a good Christmas, but I was a mess. And I was prepared for this last discard. I don't know why I went back. I think we started talking because I needed his signature on a passport. Thank goodness that's over with. But I was prepared already for this mentally. And I have several videos that I've made of him where he's promised stuff or just blatantly lied. And in one of the videos, actually, it's kind of funny because he was trying to hoover me back, but he said that I will never go back to her as I sit here right now and such date, and he looked at the clock and such time, and I will never go there. And I'm like, I'm like, do you want me to record this? Because I'm going to play this back to you after you've went back to her. And he's like, oh, I never will go back. So I'm like, okay, well then, no issue then, let me record it. And he let me record it, and I have the video. It's on YouTube. In fact, I'm gonna upload it here to YouTube so you can see how blatantly crazy it is. How crazy making. It's just crazy making. And how in a horrible situation that you are as a mother that's trying to facilitate this relationship, but it's just you're facilitating a relationship of somebody who really doesn't want to be in a relationship, and accepting that as an empathetic mother, as somebody who wants the dad of the children to be in their lives, is very, very difficult. It's some days it's easier. I can get myself distracted enough, and other days it's very, very difficult. So there's this confusion where I just doubt myself. What could I have done differently? Maybe I'm the narcissist, maybe I was too nagging, maybe I was controlling. But the fact is, you were not nagging and controlling, and I was not nagging and controlling. I mean, really, all I wanted was basic, very, very basic things. I just wanted him to be loyal, faithful, honest, and just a decent human being. And a narcissist isn't any of those. It's never going to be any of those. And I don't regret having my children because I love my children more than anything in the world. And I am very, very happy to be a mom, and I'm more fortunate probably than a lot of people. So I have to keep reminding myself that, you know, I have a career, I have an income, I don't rely on him financially, and I have custody, full custody, and he has very little visitation time, court mandated. Of course, I always try to expand that and say, you know, see the kids as much as you can, because the 2 days a month that you're allowed to see them is not enough. And at some point you just have to accept that he doesn't even care about those 9 hours a month, those 2 days a month. He doesn't care about those. Those are not important to him. They're emotional con artists. That's what they are. And I really, what I regret is that I didn't see it sooner. I should have walked away at the very first red flag. And the very first red flag, actually the very first red flag, I didn't know about it until about a year ago. He actually cheated on me while we were dating. And this is before I got pregnant, this is before we got married, this is in the other order. Actually, we got married and then I got pregnant, but this is before children, before we were, you know, super steady. I mean, we were definitely boyfriend and girlfriend, but we haven't committed any kind of long-term relationship at that point. At least, you know, it was kind of like in between, you know, that beginning stage. But, well, I guess maybe it was a little bit more solid. We were dating for 8 months at the time, and that's when he cheated on me. And I found out about a year ago. I mean, all these years, it was always like, whenever I would mention it, he'd say, "Oh yeah, I'm really sorry about that," but he would never admit that he actually did anything. And then, you know, I knew there was other people in the house present. There was a party or something. But for some reason, either I blocked it or nobody told me. I think it's just nobody told me. And in hindsight, that was my very first red flag. The inability to confess and to discuss. I mean, this was swept under the rug, and I never really knew about it. This is not how relationships are supposed to be. Of course, I was young. I didn't know anything about narcissism, and I didn't know that somebody could switch like that quickly. The second red flag was when I got pregnant, and I got pregnant before we got married, as probably a lot of people. And I was actually quite happy about it because I was nearing 30 and I was happy to have a child. You know, I was looking forward to be a mom. And I told him, and at first he seemed happy. And then he told his mother, and his mother was not happy. I mean, his mother thought that I was there to ruin his life. He had a career as a military officer. He had a degree, the first one in his family. And he was going to go places, and he actually made something out of himself. And here I come. She's not even met me yet at that point, and I'm pregnant. And I mean, he definitely switched from a nice guy to a really mean, angry guy for 3 days. I could not snap him out of it. I didn't even know who that was. I was not familiar with that person. And in hindsight, I realized that was the first time his mask fell. This is the first time that the real Trenton came out. And the first time that I saw that the real Trenton came out. And the first time was obviously when he cheated on me. Anyway, I don't want to make this video very, very long. Just sharing my human experience. And as I'm learning about narcissism, surviving, kind of struggling, definitely struggling in the last 2 weeks. But I know what to do now. I know what not to do. And I'm going to go pick up my kids, and I'm going to have a great day. And I hope you have a great day also. And feel free to leave me comments. I think we all need to support each other and help each other. It's the only way. Have a great time, and talk to you soon.